In the previous video, we talked about creating a quota. A quota is necessary for conducting survey on Android devices. If you haven't created a quota, please watch the previous video and create one. To conduct a survey on the app, we need to create a device account. To do this, go to the Device Accounts page and click Add Device Account. Enter the device login. If the device login already exists in the system, an error will be displayed. Enter the device password and click Save. Now we need to connect the device to the project. To do this, go to the Quotas tab. We will use the quota that we created in the previous video. Then click Assign devices. A device can be connected to any number of tasks, as well as a task can be connected to any number of devices. To assign a device to a task, click the plus sign next to the task you want and select the device from the list. Click Add. To connect another task, do the same. If you want to connect all tasks that belong to a certain level of nesting and its sublevels, assign the device to this level by clicking the plus sign next to it. This way, CT4, 5 and 6 will be connected to the test1 device. To display the project on the device, the project must be enabled. Let's check that. It is enabled. Now we can move on to the Android device. The application can be installed in two ways: from the Play Market and by downloading the APK file from the website app.lemursurvey.net. In the Play Market, the application is available by searching for Lemur Survey. The application can also be installed from the website app.lemursurvey.net. It is enough to provide the interviewer with a link to the website so they can install the application themselves. Open the website and there are instructions on how to install the application. If your device prevents the installation of application from unknown sources, remove the restriction using the instructions on the website. Open the application. We need to provide access to all permissions which the app requested. Enter the login and password of the device account that we created. Select account. Once the application has loaded, we will be taken to the page with the list of projects, and we see the project to which we assigned the device. On the screen, the total number of interviews that need to be completed by the interviewer is also shown. There is also a synchronization button that connects to the server and downloads the latest changes in the project if there were any, and a menu button in the upper left corner. Click the menu button. Here we can see the login under which we are authorized, the time of the last synchronization with the server, a toggle switch for the test mode, a button to navigate to the project list screen, a button for postponed interviews, a button to send logs to the developers, About That button, and a button to log out of the account. We will consider these items in this video. Go to the project page and go to the project that is available to us. We are on the task screen. These are the tasks that we assigned our device to. City 1 and City 2, as well as all tasks related to the West level. The number of remaining and completed interviews is written on each task. Go to the City 1 task. We have two tabs available: Quotas and Interviews. On Quotas tab, we see how many interviews are still left and how many have already been done for each quota. We see interlocking quotas, gender age, and below the bold line, non-interlocking quotas, presence of children. At the bottom, we see how many are left to do and how many have been done. And the Start Survey button. On the Interviews tab, completed interviews will be shown. Let's start the survey. The first screen displays a greeting. The next question is a screener. If you press yes, the interview will end with a screener status. If you press no, we will proceed further. The next question is a quota question. We select man, and if the interview is successfully completed, the quota for man will be closed by 1. Next comes the age question. The interviewer entered the age as a number, and the age range is automatically determined. This is also a quota question. If the interview is successfully completed, the quota for the age range will be closed by 1. The interviewer does not need to keep track of quota closures. This means that if the quota for men aged 25 to 40 is closed, the interview will end with a did not pass quota status after this question. The next question is about having children, which is also a quota question. If you answer yes, I have children, the next question will be about the number of children. And if you answer no, the question will be skipped. This is the basic logic of displaying questions based on conditions. The next question is an open-ended text question. Here we enter the brand name that the respondent will name first. In the next question, we see a list of multiple choice answer options. There is also an open-ended text for the other answer option. The exclusive answer option is difficult to answer. If you select the exclusive answer options, the other options become unavailable. Additionally, the answer options are randomly ordered in this question, while the other and difficult to answer options are excluded from rotation. Let's choose few brands. On the next question, we only see the brands we selected in the previous question. The other answer options were hidden. This uses logic conditions for displaying answer options. The next question is a single choice. Let's choose brand 1. On the next question, we see that the selected answer options has been inserted into the question text. If we go back and choose another brand will be inserted into the text. On the next question, we see a matrix. The matrix is presented as slides, where each slide is a question from the matrix rows, and the answers options are column headers. In the online version in the browser, the matrix looks like this. This is done so that the matrix displays well on any device with any screen, be it a tablet or mobile phone, and the content fits well within the screen dimensions. The matrix supports all types of open answer options: text, number, date, time, and rating. On the next screen, we see rating. On the next screen, a numerical answer options is displayed. We cannot enter text into it. Also, at the end, we see a hint, $sign. In this field, we can only enter a positive number with no more than 2 digits. If we enter 0, an error will be displayed. Also, this field has an additional check that brand free cannot cost less than $5. On the next question, there is a check. The price value cannot be higher than what was entered on the previous question. On the next question, we see images and answer options. The images are downloaded from the server and are available without an internet connection. It is also possible to add video to the question text. It will also be downloaded to the device and available without an internet connection. Images can be inserted into the question text, answer options, rows, and columns of the matrix. On the next question, we see one of the options for displaying single choice. It's called list. Next, we will show what are the options for displaying questions and answer options there are. On this question, it is possible to select a date and time. It is possible to set a minimum and maximum date, as well as use the entered values in conditions. On the next question, we can scan a QR code. To do this, we aim the camera at the QR code, and the text encrypted in the QR code is read and recorded at the answer option. On the following question, we can take a photo or choose one from the gallery. In the question settings, it is possible to prohibit the option to choose from the gallery and require the interviewer to take a photo using the camera. It is also possible to set limits on the minimum and maximum number of photos that need to be taken or uploaded. We can retake the photo. On the next question, we can arrange the answer options in the desired order, for example, from the most to the least important. The following question has a validation check to ensure that the sum of the numerical values entered in the percentages equals 100. Any validation formula that includes user input and mathematical calculation can be set up. After this, we land on the survey completion screen. If we want to make any changes to the answers, we click back. We can go back to the first question and then proceed forward to the last one, and all the responded answers will be saved. If we want to complete the interview, we click complete. After this, it's not possible to make any changes to the respondents' answers. We can see that the completed interview has closed the quotas for men 26, 35 and have children. If we go to the Interviews tab, we will see the completed interview in the list. We can see the date and time, the closed quota, and the status successfully completed. After that, if the device is connected to the internet, we can submit the interview to the server. This can be done by clicking on the 3 dots and the Send button. Alternatively, we can click Send All, in which case all unset interviews on the device will be sent. This button is duplicated on the interviews list, task list, and project list. We click on Send all interviews. Along with the answers, the audio recording of the interview that was recorded in the background is also sent to the server. If there were any problems with the internet connection during uploading, or some or all of the interviews were not successfully submitted, we can click the Send all interviews button again until all interviews are sent to the server. After that, the button will disappear. The application has a feature to postpone an interview. This is necessary when the respondent asks to interrupt the interview and continue it at another time. While the interview is postponed, you can continue to conduct any number of interviews and then return to it. Let's look at an example of how to postpone an interview. Start the survey, answer a few questions, and assume that at this point the respondent asks to interrupt the interview. To do this, click on the arrow in the upper left corner, and we see a dialog box where we are offered to choose the mode in which we want to interrupt the interview. If we choose the postpone mode, the interview will be added to the postponed interview list and we can resume it at any time. It also will not be sent to the server until it is completed. The second mode is complete, which immediately marks the interview as interrupted and completes it. It cannot be resumed. It will be sent to the server with all other interviews. This mode is needed in case the respondent will not continue the interview. Select the postpone mode. We can also enter a comment if necessary and click OK. To continue the postponed interview, go to the main menu of the application and select Postponed Interviews. Find the postponed interview you need and click Continue. The interview opens with the question where we left off, and we can continue the interview. We can postpone an interview any number of times. We can also complete this interview with the status interrupted. If the application was unloaded from the device's memory during the survey, for example, application was accidentally closed or battery charge was low, then the interview will also be located in the Postponed Interview section. The interviewer can continue the survey from the point where the application was unloaded from the memory. Let's look at the test mode. In the test mode, interviews are not saved on the device and therefore cannot be uploaded to the server. To enable the test mode, go to the main menu and click Test Mode. The interviewer can go through the survey any number of times for testing and learning purposes. Also, the testing mode doesn't close the quotas. The Lemur Survey system allows for changes to be made to the survey structure during the survey process. You can add answer options, questions, or modify text or descriptions. However, it is not recommended to delete answer options or questions after the survey has started. It is strictly forbidden to change the answer options for questions that are being used in quotas. If you need to change quota questions after the survey has started, you must stop the current survey and create a new quota. If changes have been made to the project, you need to press the Sync button on the project list screen in the application. The application also has a feature to set logs to the Lemur Survey developers team. The logs contain all the actions taken by the interviewer in the application and can help developers to troubleshoot exceptional situations. For example, if the interviewer cannot find completed interviews or if an unusual situation occurs in the application. In this case, the manager can contact the developers, describe the situation, and then ask the interviewer to send the logs to the server. To do this, go to the main menu and click Send Logs.